What's going on, Fanatic family? Chuckin Bucket family. The Chuckin Bucket boys are back. That's right. We are here to talk SEC women's basketball, focus on South Carolina Gamecocks. But we're going to talk about the other SEC women's basketball teams that are in that top 25 too, because there are some people out there, teams out there, trying to keep the Gamecocks from going 4 in a row in the SEC and trying to get back to that national spotlight for the national championship, man. But hey, man, without further ado, the Chuckin Bucket boys are back, and let's get into it. That's right, man. The Chuckin Bucket boys are back. Hey, man, listen, if you new to the channel, just know we talk SEC basketball, primarily South Carolina Gamecocks and those that can contend with them. We'll talk about all the teams throughout the season, previewing all the games. We'll be doing some live watch parties as well. South Carolina starts their official season with Grand Cane on November the 3rd. Tonight, they had this exhibition versus the Tar Heels. We'll get into that. Man, let me go ahead and bring up one of my co-hosts. It's our guy, the Gamecock himself, Stat Guy. What's going on, Stat?
Hey, man. Look, can November 3rd hurry up and get here? I need some basketball in my life. Football season did me wrong, but you know what? It's always a good day when you got Dawn Staley as your head coach.
Right. Hey, listen, that you always got something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? That football for you is just the icing on the cake.
But you know, it's kind of been like that. Back in the day, we had baseball with Ray Tanner. We were winning, beating everybody down. Now we got basketball to look forward to, which is my favorite sport anyway. So I'm with it, man. And I'm glad the SEC is catching up a little bit. Man, I just like good games no matter the sport. So
Right. So listen, man, we're gonna talk about it today. Like I say, man, Chuckin Buckets. If you're new to the channel, we talk college women's basketball, focusing primarily on the South Carolina Gamecocks and anybody that can contend with them in the SEC. We will occasionally mention those outside of the conference when it is worth mentioning, man. And here on the Fanatic Sports, we talk SEC sports all the time. If you don't know, we got SEC Snap Count on Mondays and Wednesdays, where we Mondays react to football, and then on Wednesdays we preview football. Then on Tuesdays we talk all Georgia football with Georgia players, and on Thursdays before the Chuckin Buckets we talk South Carolina Gamecock football. If you didn't catch it today, go back and watch that episode from about an hour ago with the Stat Guy and former Gamecock linebacker Corey Atkins talking about the Gamecocks. We got some people already up in there. Let's Stephen G. I already know my guy Stephen G was going to be here. What's going on, Stephen G? You say you need basketball as well. He's one of our Oklahoma guys. Yeah, Oklahoma women's basketball be holding it down as well. We'll talk about them tonight as well. You got South Carolina at number 2 in the top 25 stat. You got Texas at number 4. LSU at number 5, Oklahoma at number 6, Tennessee at number 8. That's just in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? SEC women showing up. What you think about that?
Man, it's you could kind of feel the swing coming. And it kind of starts, obviously, Dawn got South Carolina on the map. They finally got over the hump. They became a powerhouse. Tennessee's always been kind of lingering in the weeds. But even when they have down years, you feel like Tennessee's a top 15 team. Now you got Kim Mulkey cooking things up down in Baton Rouge, and then OU's kind of getting back to the promise they had back in the early 2000s and putting together some good recruiting. So, and I think with the transfer portal, SEC schools, they got the money. So you're going to see these girls kind of come onto the radar from other programs, and I think they'll find them way to an SEC program to where you could see a Georgia or Florida or maybe somebody else jump into this picture.
Right, man. Listen, hey, you know I'm a Georgia dog. That's my shout out to my alma mater, man. But we ain't been the same since Andy Landers retired. Hey, shout out to the coaches that's trying, but they just hadn't been able to cut the mustard. I just want to get back to the point where we're consistently making the tourney and not getting bounced in the first round, those kind of things. We don't in women's basketball, we don't live that life like South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? It's we're trying to get back to that status. But with the transfer portal that you mentioned, in NIL era, we've seen even here recently, man, it's been some schools pulling some top recruits. And these top recruits ain't all going to Dawn Staley. She gets most of who she wants, but some of these cats going, other places. I mean, the number one girl in 2025, she signed with Oklahoma, right?
Right. Aaliyah Chavez. I mean, you look at her from Texas. Obviously, she's from right outside the Lubbock area. Texas Tech was on her hard. OU was on her. And then, of course, the powers that be in UConn and South Carolina were kind of laying in the weeds. I think UCLA was there till the end. And so that was a really big get for OU because it's not your typical number one where you keep the in-state girl. We look about the day that everybody says the South Carolina program changed was getting Asia Wilson to stay home. But I mean, she was a Columbia girl. I mean, she was in the backyard. And so, yeah, you better get her to stay home if you're trying to win natties. But so for OU to go to the state of Texas and get the number one player, with Texas being as good as they are, with all the money we know Texas Tech has, as well as the other programs they were battling, that's a huge get. You throw her on the court. They already have the big and beers. OU may be ready to rock and roll this year.
Right. And I know South Carolina got 2 high-profile freshmen coming in. But how did you feel when Chavez, and I know you kind of knew a little bit earlier than the typical fan, but how'd you feel when you knew for real, like, well, I don't think Chavez coming to Columbia?
Yeah, I mean, it always kind of felt that it was going to be a small recruiting class. And I kind of felt early because you kept seeing her name, South Carolina's name on her list, but she never came. There was never any visits. And so I'm a realist. If you ain't coming, you're probably not coming. Like right. if you ain't trying to come see the palace that Dawn built and 18,000 fans waving white towels on a Sunday afternoon, realistically, do I expect to see you in the garnet and black? No. And so it was tough because obviously you want the best talent, but you're like, at this point, I have to believe that Dawn got the girl she wanted. And then I knew that she was going to go make a splash in the portal, which she did. Now, with that being said, the portal giveth, but the portal taketh away. And we traded Latson for Fuwali, and we're going to see what that can do. I know she had some rough spots with Dawn about some of her play, but let's not get it twisted. The girl can hoop.
That's right. I'm interested to see how Latson fits in. You got a lot of talent coming back. I'm interested to see who steps up. We'll get into Latson coming in. We'll get into the young freshman. We'll get into our girl, Mrs. Consistent, man, Chloe being hurt, and what we're gonna do, what we're gonna see this year from possibly like from Joyce, from the girl that transferred from Medina Okot, the transfer from Mississippi State. So we're going to see, again, freshmen, we'll see how Raven controls the point guard, I'm saying, all of that, man. But before we do, let's talk about, we just named the top 10 SEC schools. There's more SEC schools in the top 25. Ole Miss coming in at number 12. Then you got Vandy. Even though they lost one of their big-time players, Pierre, but they still got the little young guard, Vandy coming in at 19, and Kentucky right there tied for 24 with Richmond. So the top 25 is littered with SEC women's basketball.
And so Kentucky is the most intriguing out of that list. I think out of that second group, I like Ole Miss's coach the best. I think they probably have the best overall coach.
I like it.
Yeah, she's defensive minded. They play hard for her. They buy into her personality. But
she's always I think Ole Miss under her is always one of those teams like you can't have a bad game against them because they gonna bring the lunch pail and they coming at you hard.
Right. They playing for 4 quarters. Like they getting down. They with all the smoke.
Right.
Like you said, if you're better than they are, you have to put your foot on their throat and remind them who they are. If you're in a game with 2-3 minutes left, you might mess around and lose. The other interesting team, though, in that second group is Kentucky. You look, Kenny Brooks' second year, obviously his first year littered with transfers from Vatech and elsewhere. You lose the little guard to the WNBA. They still have the big. She was only a sophomore last year, so you still have her. 6'4", 6'5", athletic, can do enough around the basket, great shot blocker. And then brought some more transfers in. So I'm definitely, and he's a good coach. I mean, he took Vatech to a couple tournaments. He knows how to win basketball games. And so I'm very intrigued to see. I can see them being as low as they are because their roster's kind of unknown, but it would not surprise me to see them potentially get a bye, and maybe even be in consideration for the double bye when the SEC tournament rolls around.
Now, we counted all those SEC women's basketball, teams in the top 25. I think, nothing's 100% because you just never know, but we pretty much can pencil South Carolina into the NCAA women's tourney. I think, we can say the same about Texas, LSU, and Oklahoma. But out of the rest of them, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Vandy, Kentucky, do you see any of them missing the postseason in the NCAA tournament? Just on some old, what we think might happen.
No, I think if any one of them misses the tournament, you're then looking at a team from outside of that group is definitely in because they had a crazy good year, and you're looking at a coach probably on the hot seat.
Right. Aaron getting in. Appreciate you getting in, Aaron. Say glad we don't play Texas twice this year. Listen, Texas brings back. Hey, we already know. Everybody knows Madison Booker's coming back. My interest will be to see how they use Oldacre now that they don't have the other really good big they had last year. It's like, I want to say they talked about it in the NCAA tournament, how they hadn't played more than like 20 minutes on the floor together. I actually felt like Oldacre in the tournament would have gave them a better in the NCAA tournament would have gave them a better shot. But that's just my way of thinking. I'm interested to see how Oldacre maybe blossoms now that she's going to be the premier big down low along with Madison Booker. What you thinking about the Longhorns?
Yeah, and I mean, don't forget the point guard's back too, Roy Harmon, and
right.
she's kind of their girl.
She should be playing without the brace this year, shouldn't she?
She should be without the brace this year. But we laughed so much last year. She's their Raven Johnson.
She is.
She's sticky on defense. She's not going for all that offensively, but she'll hit. She has a better mid-range than Raven does.
I was just about to say mid-range is where she lives.
She gets to the elbow and she's dangerous. But she's sticky on defense and she gets the right person the ball. The one thing that scares me about Texas is we have seen Madison Booker shoot them out of games. And I'm ready as a good player, a great player. You have to know when it's time to take over and when it's not. And when your shot's not falling, I love the mentality that my next 10 are going in. But at some point, you got to get your teammates involved. And
right. She does tend to hunt shots, especially early in the game. And then when they're falling, she got that mid-range as well. But when they're not falling, it's like, all right, let's pass this thing around. Let's get again. That's why I say I want to see what I don't think it's just is Oldacre, growing as a player. Like, is she going to get the touches that I think in some cases she may need? Some cases she, I know Texas fan ain't going to say this, but sometimes Madison Booker may need to take a back seat, let Oldacre, get down there in the paint. Because I think that just opens everything up for her and Roy on the outside.
Right. So and they got some other shooters out there as well with them. That Texas is a good team. I think that matchup wise, there's going to be some teams that cause Texas problems. I think South Carolina is one of those, and I definitely think LSU is one of those. Just because of the guard, they have the guard play to not only match Texas but cause Texas problems with their guard play to force Booker and Roy Harmon to play a lot harder than they probably want to on defense for 4 quarters.
Well, not to get too into the weeds, but I'm interested to see what Medina Alcott got for Oldacre. Again, I don't think a lot of people could handle Oldacre last year, but they didn't play her enough in my estimation. I got KB who will be joining us. He's the third member of the Chuckin Bucket Boys. He'll be joining us here in a minute. He getting in, saying Blake's from Vandy could easily be SEC Player of the Year, and I definitely don't disagree with that. I think Michaela Blakes has shown the propensity to score on anybody. Now that she doesn't have Pierre, I know they got some people out of the portal, but now that she doesn't have Pierre, I'm interested to see if her shot attempts go up or she works it around throughout the team. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this in rebuttal. I think best she could hope for would be to be co. I think the problem is you look at the 3 to 4 teams that you probably say realistically can win the conference. All of them have stars. And the problem is that you, whether right or wrong, those conference player of the years and stuff normally go to the best player on the best team, whether they deserve it or not. So that would be my one thing for Vanderbilt is I just don't think they're going to win enough for her to win the award. I think they're probably a 500 team in the conference.
Ooh, see, I think they're better than 500 in team just on the strength of Michaela. But I mean, we shall see. Let's dive a little bit into the South Carolina roster. How do you see this roster? I think we all know Raven's going to start at the 1. I think Tanaya Lanson's definitely starting. Joyce Edwards, even if she wasn't playing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it takes a while, Staley likes to slow play them, let them develop. But with the injury to Chloe, I think we know. I think I would say Joyce is for sure a starter. Tessa, I think you on the fence about Tessa starting, maybe not. And who do you like? Let's say I say Raven Johnson, Tanaya Lasson, Tessa Johnson, and Joyce are going to start. Who's going to be the 5th?
Okay, at the 5.
Okay, easy.
So had Chloe Kitts not blown her ACL,
right,
Joyce would have been coming off the bench this year. Whether and she is the one from South Carolina that if they run the table in the SEC, I could see her putting up the numbers to win Player of the Year in the conference. And so
we're gonna have that debate too later.
But it's crazy. Like you talking about the girl that I think could win Player of the Year was going to come off the bench, and I still would have picked her. Actually, I was always going to pick Chloe Kitts because I've been riding since day one. But I will tell y'all this. I'm telling y'all right now, season hasn't started. By the time SEC play starts, South Carolina will be starting a true freshman at the 3, and it is going to be problems for y'all. I will also say, now, I've told you this. You think it's a horrible idea. Don't be surprised when Raven Johnson at some point this year is not starting. They move Latson to the 1 and Tessa to the 2. And Raven comes off the bench.
See, I think because of the way Raven controls the game and the team, just the team momentum and the defense, the leading by defense. Not to say that Tanaya and Tessa can't do that, but like with Tanaya, again, you used to coach with me. I don't ever want my primary scorer, which I think Tanaya will be. I don't want them having to bring the ball up as well, because if we're playing teams that's full court man, now she's using a lot of her energy just getting the ball up the court. And I'm like, I just need her to be free. I need that Raven Johnson who don't care about scoring, who will just hit the open shot when needed to get her the ball. But again, also, I'm not saying I don't think she's ever going to start, but I think her role is going to increase, and you disagree. But Maddie McDaniel, I've been on her since she got to Columbia. I'm telling you, the chick can play. And I think she's going to come in when Raven, needs a breather. I think they keep Tanaya. I want to see when Tanaya takes a breather, who that scoring guard is going to be.
Tessa.
So they say no more tournament Tessa. They say this year it's just all season Tessa.
No more tournament Tessa. I think Tessa is going to, especially too, because a lot of times.
And my bad, but I'm a Tessa fan. You don't be trying to bench my girl.
But so I will say that I felt at times last year coming off the bench, she definitely took a back seat to Joyce. Like when Joyce came in the game, it's Joyce time. Get out the way. And then if she was in there with the starters, whether we liked it or not, which we loved it most of the times, the offense was ran by Chloe Kitts at the top of the key.
Right.
And so I think this year we are going to see what we've been craving for 2 years, and it's Tessa hunting shots.
I hope so. I think she'll play better if she hunts more shots, especially early in the game to get in the rhythm. Some of those times, we thought she was going to turn up in the tournament last year, and I think just because of the up and downs of last season, it was harder for her to do that. Now, down low in the paint, Joyce had a decent year last year, but it's not what we thought she was going to do in her sophomore campaign. I think, now that Chloe's not there, I think, I know you say she's going to win the player of the year or at least be up for player of the year. I think that's definitely possible because of her talent alone. But I also could see her taking that Chloe role that, we saw last year. Like when teams can kind of match your energy, it's like when Chloe would come up top and start the offense, it just threw the defense all off. And I think Joyce could be that. And because while Chloe is misconsistent, and here at Chuckin Buckets, we always ride with Chloe because she gonna give you everything she got every single game, and she always a double waiting to happen. I think with Joyce's athletic ability and being able to handle the ball, that makes it even more dangerous if she can play that same role.
Right. The big difference for South Carolina offense is with Latson this year. You finally have a guard to hunt a shot. Like they're fourth quarter, you need a bucket. Latson going hunting. It might work, might not, but you ain't got to worry about if she's going to take it. You just got to worry about if it's going in because she's taking it. And so that's going to be I'm interested to see how Dawn plays with that because she's always been big heavy. And we still are big heavy. I mean, you got Okot that's a problem down low. And that we're really going to need her defensively this year. But obviously, Joyce is going to need her touches. I'm excited to see what these freshmen are going to look like on the wings. So the one that I think has the potential to become the starter would be Agat McKeer, I think is how you pronounce it.
McKeer. I think on the broadcast they be saying Agat Maker, but I think it's McKeer.
I think it's McKeer, but just so athletic. And like when her and McDowell were on the court, like the game's going even faster. Like let's go. And I could see South Carolina trying to get into some track meet with folks this year. And
I'm not totally opposed to that. To go small, put Joyce at the 5. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially if it's my counter. Let's say you play Texas and Odaker's having a good game. Instead of reacting to what she does by trying to go, bigger and put more, help side defense around her, I say go small and run her and get her tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? When you're playing against Reagan Beers, it's like let's get out and run.
Joyce is about 6'3". Both the freshmen are 6'1", 6'2". Like you definitely got the girls to go out and do it.
That's right, man. Hey, the third member of the Chuckin Bucket Boys is here. We had some technical difficulties with the link, but my guy in here, KB, what's going on, Biddles?
What's good, man? Finally got on here, man. I heard my boy Jeff talking a little crazy, talking a little reckless on the link.
Listen, you already know he calling for Joyce to be up for all the awards: SEC Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, Tournament Player of the Year. Tournament MVP, all that stuff. And I think she has the talent to do so. I just think sometimes when you have another star, as in Tanaya Latson, we know she's gonna give buckets. It takes votes away from you because some people voting for Tanaya, some people voting for Joyce. Meanwhile, Michaela Blakes ain't got nobody with her. You know what I'm saying?
And don't have no wins to show for it either.
See, I don't think Vandy gonna be as bad as you think, dog.
No, it's the reason they're in the top 25, man. It's the reason they're in the top 25 right now, preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a whole lot of stock into it, but they got something. You know what I'm saying? They got something going.
Right. So Aaron gets in on the exhibition from tonight, and KB, you posted this in the group chat. I think the final was 91-82 Gamecocks. Aaron says we could have scored 110 plus versus UNC if we made the free throws. It's an exhibition, but the Gamecocks came out in the third quarter, had a big lead, but then North Carolina, trying to be. I think they might make some noise in the ACC. I don't think they'll be Duke or NC State, but that's a whole nother conference. But did you watch some of that game, KB?
No, I didn't get to see it. I just followed some of the stats on Twitter because I think they only broadcast it on the radio, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so I was Bet. So let me get in here. Like, what you think? So I posed the stat for the starting lineup for the Gamecocks. I say it's going to be Raven Johnson, Tanaya Latson, Tessa Johnson, Joyce, and I asked for the fifth, and he said Medina Okot. But he also proclaims that by SEC play, Tessa won't be starting at the 3. It'll be one of the freshmen. And then at some point in the season, Raven won't be starting at point guard.
So first of all, I think I agree with you on the starting lineup. Like, I can see that starting this season. Like, we got to have that big presence down low. We got to have the experience at point guard. Latson ain't coming here to come off the bench, so we know she's starting from the jump. Tessa, experience. I mean, we got to go experience in the beginning of the season. Coming out, Joyce might have been coming off the bench if Chloe don't have the injury. Let's be real about that, because. A big center, we didn't bring her over here to come off the bench either. Let's be real about that. Right. So yeah, I can definitely see that. But man, there's no way Raven comes off the bench. Like, for a couple reasons. We can't put experience on the bench. You know what I'm saying? She's got too much game experience, tournament experience to come off the bench. And that type of player come off the bench, she's not a player that gives you 30 off the bench. Like I said, there's a difference if you got a six man that's coming in to give you a spark. I don't even think she can play that type of role coming off the bench. Like, you don't bring a defensive stopper as a 6th person coming off the bench. You bring the full Wally off the bench, right? Maybe Tessa does get to the bench, but not because she don't fit in the starting lineup, but maybe they need a spark off the bench offensively. Like I said, that's the only reason somebody goes to the bench. But Raven's not going to the bench.
Right. Aaron got in earlier and said Maddie McDaniels the backup. Right. Listen, Aaron, you get me, dog. Like, she the spark plug. Listen, my girl gonna get some more burn this year, and she gonna show y'all why she came to South Carolina. Listen, I've been a fan of Maddie. I'm telling you, the girl can play. So we're gonna see. I agree with that. I think the freshmen are gonna play. I just don't like. I'm like you, KB. You ain't putting that experience in. Neither one of the Johnsons going to the Johnson & Johnson is going to be starting. And we just talked about Tessa. This ain't no more tournament Tessa. It's all season Tessa. You know what I'm saying? And we want her to hunt her shots early because, like you said, I don't think she's coming off the bench, coming in, hitting 5 straight threes. You know what I'm saying? I think if she start early in the game, she can hit 5 threes in the game and get some, some other easy buckets. But listen, sometimes, and we see that Joyce freshman year, Joyce was easily, Chloe's always the most consistent, but easily she could have been, she's definitely the most athletic player on the team and one if not the best, one of the best on the team, but she still never started. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think is going to happen to the freshmen this year.
So I will give y'all for South Carolina the name to watch. I really think her season could dictate how far South Carolina can go is how big of a step did Adele Tack take? Because she's going to have to play meaningful minutes this year. She's going to have to. At some point this year, Okot's going to get in foul trouble, right? And we're going to have to lean on her.
Well, I think because of the Chloe injury, you may be right. I think we will see her in early season play, the Grand Canyons, the Bowling Greens, and be honest with you, even Clemson. I think if she doesn't show improvement, then as a coach, what I would do is just go small when Okat needs a rest or she's in foul trouble. Move Joyce over to the 5, and then again, these 2 of these freshmen that came in, they are wings and guards, but they're 6'2" or 6'1" or something like that. So they still got the height. And while on offense, they may not play in the post, they can definitely play the other teams, post player height wise. So,
fellas, we acting like Miriam not there no more. Is Miriam not there anymore? Like, Miriam got in against Oklahoma. We put Miriam against Oklahoma, against Betts. We use her against UCLA, against the big girl. Like, Miriam's got experience. Like, she's better.
I prefer. Unless it's something that has happened in the offseason that we haven't seen, I prefer Miriam over Tack. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm saying, but she's more of your backup 4 though. Like if you're
that's why I say going small.
Yes.
Right.
Small.
but at some point you're gonna need the big girl to be a big girl.
Yeah.
You just got. You got to. So
look, Aaron feel us, dog. Aaron said to even think Raven coming off the bench feels disrespectful. Appreciate that, Aaron. Listen, man, Raven controlled the flow, bro. Like, we got a lot of talent, but you need that glue. Who's the glue? It's Raven. Like, you taught me that 2 years ago, Stat. Like, you can't always just go simply talent. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have the right pieces, and you might be right. We'll see.
Hey, but you know what you taught me? It don't matter who starts. It matters who
finishes.
That's
now, right.
I will promise you this. There ain't gonna be a game where she ain't on the court final 3 minutes. I promise you that.
Right.
We'll wait for further in the season. I already have a game in mind that they're gonna do it.
Okay, so that's why I'm glad you said that. Good segue. But before we talk about the schedule, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Swipe Fast. If y'all bear with us 1 minute, and we're gonna give a shout out to them. Where's our video at? Hey, just take a break right here. It's your boy Coach I, Chuckin Buckets. You know how we get down, man. Just to let you know, today's episode brought to you by Swipe Fast. That's Swipe with a Y. Swipe Fast. If you're looking for a way to keep majority of that hard-earned profit, you know what I'm saying, and still continue to grow your business, check out Swipe Fast. It's a merchant services company that's got over 26 years of combined experience helping businesses of all sizes, man, with debit card, credit card processing, things of that ways, in the most efficient and cost-saving ways, man. So whether you're a restaurant, retail store, e-commerce, or you process business-to-business payments, Swipe Fast has a solution to fit all the needs, man. You can visit them at swipefast.com. That's swipe with a Y, fast.com. Or you can just call them at 1-800-597-0713. No strings attached, and get you a cost analysis. Don't forget ask about that revolutionary pricing cash discount too, man. It's saved business owners up to 99% of the current processing fees. Let them know Chuckin Bucket sent you, man. Now back to the regular scheduled program. That's right, man. Swipe Fast, and they are based in Columbia. KB, you got something else on that?
No, we're good right now. Appreciate you plugging that in, man. We're gonna have some more information coming down the line. So next pod, we're gonna have it plugged in for y'all.
Right. We appreciate everybody getting in. If you're just joining us, man, we're giving our South Carolina Gamecocks women basketball season preview. Also talking a little bit about the other SEC top 25 teams that may contend and try to stand in the way of South Carolina winning their 4th straight SEC title this year. Now, you talked about the schedule. You say you know what game or some of this stuff is going to happen. Let's just go through the schedule just briefly, talking about the bigger games. Grand Canyon, big game just because it's the first official game of the season. Grand Canyon has made the tournament, I want to say 2 of the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, maybe three straight tourneys. But not the talent that South Carolina has, but every time it's the first game, it's the biggest game of the season. You know what I'm saying?
And quick shout out. Former Gamecock assistant, Coach Winston, gonna be coaching his first game as a head coach in that game. That's where he left the Gamecocks to go take over that program. So that's dope for him.
That'll be a dope reunion. Maybe Dawn will pull the Dogs off, you know what I'm saying, in the 4th quarter. Don't make it look too bad. The next big game, just because you don't like them, is Clemson. That's November 11th. I don't think that'll be a challenge. It hasn't been here recently, but it is an in-state rivalry, and you got to keep showing them who's the boss. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Now, the game after that is not saying it's not going to be a big game, but it would have been bigger if Juju was playing, and that's the USC Trojans, the battle of the real USC. How y'all feeling about this game, man? Now that Juju ain't playing now. We saw last year they got some girls, you know what I'm saying? So but it's still not the same without Juju.
I think it's probably a closer game than what people think. A couple reasons, let's not sleep on USC, California, Cal-wise. But I think from a Gamecock perspective, man, I think like we even kind of found out early in the season last year, like we found our rhythm kind of late or closer to SEC play, right? And I think in the beginning of the season, even if we go back to that UCLA game last year where we got, the doors blowing off of us, like I can see us trying to find a rhythm, trying to find a rotation, trying to see, who gets the ball when. And, obviously the travel, I think travel does play a factor as well. I mean, you're going all the way to the West Coast on that thing. But I do think the Lady Gamecocks do pull it out, but I think it's a little bit closer than what we think.
Right. Aaron says Clemson just got a big recruit in Taylor Jones. They did. I saw that on social media. Stevie G says, can Raven come off the bench versus OU? He'll accept that. I think that's and this goes back to what KBU was talking about, and we'll continue with the schedule here in a minute. But KB talking about that experience. Like when you play on a team like OU, you need all the experience you can get because they might throw some things at the young cats that they might not be ready for. So
and I can promise you, Stevie G, that ain't the game I'm talking about. Raven is gonna clamp that true freshman up for 4 quarters. She's gonna have her in a book bag.
Right. So Stat, you think like KB, this could be this battle of the real USC could be closer than most fans want it to be.
The thing I'm interested to see is Southern Cal is big all over the court.
From 1 to 5.
Everybody looking like they should be playing center. So I'm very intrigued to see how their height and length, because that's something that South Carolina has had on a lot of people for a while, is they've been bigger and longer at most of the positions. I just think that we're going to turn that into, I think that'll be the game we really go pedal to the metal. That could be a breakout game for Maddie. Obviously, they love to play a lot faster when she's on the court. I think our speed causes them problems in that game, but their length will make things difficult on us in the half court.
I definitely agree with that. As a coach, that's what I would do. I would at least try it once or twice, a quarter to go small and try to speed the tempo up. If nothing else, to tire the girls out and possibly get them into some early foul trouble. What you think about that, KB?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like we got to use our bench like we have in the past. And I think to Jeff's point earlier, like I said, the freshmen definitely going to get some playing time, but we got to use that to our advantage too, man. Like use that energy, even though they might have some, inexperience here and there, but we got to use our bench, man. That's the only way we kind of win these type of games, especially going out west.
Right. And the next one is Duke. Duke is number 7 in the top 25. Duke played the Gamecocks close last year in the tournament. I think they're gonna be looking for some, get back. So I think that's that's a game as well.
And then that game's in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Isn't that the day right before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's in a little 2-day tournament in Vegas. What a shame a South Carolina and North Carolina school got to fly to Vegas to play each other when it would be a sellout in either Colonial Life or in Durham.
Right. What you think about the Blue Devils? They trying to get that get back? KB?
Definitely. I definitely think Blue Devils winning the ACC as well. Obviously, I'm a big was it Kara Lawson coach down there?
Yeah,
big
love Kara Lawson. Yes,
yeah, we love her, man. But I do think Gamecocks still pull it out, man. But man, this Duke team, I can see them going deep in the tournament though. I can definitely see them going Final Four type vibe.
I think they're that good too. There's Aaron getting in. Aaron says the South Carolina has the size advantage. Says London Jones is 4'8". She's actually 5'4", and then Malia Samuels is 5'6". Everybody else is 5'11" and up. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of their players 6'1" and above. 2 of them are 6'5", 6'3", 6'3", 6'2". Like they may have some shorter girls, but most of the girls that did the damage in 2024, 2025 were, and Juju, she's not playing, but she's 6'2". So, and she was playing 2 guard, by the way.
And the 2 that it listed are both transfers, and Samuels and Jones are both transferred in. As far as the Duke game goes, Kara Lawson is close. She's close to having Duke back.
She is.
I think they are still. She's putting another great recruiting class together in this 26 class. I think she's a year away. I think next year could be the year that they can really make a run to make some noise in the big dance. South Carolina is just too deep for them this year.
Right, just like they were last year. I definitely agree. I'm with Aaron. He says Duke has no answer for Olcott and Lasson. You're right. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the talent is just going to outweigh what Duke has, but I think they're going to put up a good game again because, one, Carol Lawson's a good coach. You know what I'm saying? So after the Duke game, then in December, you start out with Louisville. You know what I'm saying? That's at Louisville. Now, they don't have the talent that South Carolina has. But they're a player in the ACC, so I think that's a pretty big game. And then come January the 1st, SEC play starts, and you start out with Alabama. Now, I think Alabama had lost a lot of experience, from the last year's team. So I don't know. I haven't seen what all they got. I'm interested to see them playing in the non-con KB, but losing that experience got to matter. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like, you can't come into the best conference in the nation with the SEC and not have some type of experience. Like, this is not a Kentucky men's all freshman starting type vibe that you can come in and try to get these type of wins. Like, the players are too good, and really the coaching is too good. I think we've got some of the best coaches as far as across the country. When we talk about Dawn, we talk about an LSU coach. I'm saying? We even my boy from Kentucky, we talk about him as well. Like, these are top 10 coaches across the board in our conference, and you don't get it done with inexperience.
Right. Mr. SEC Bread says Duke women's basketball is overrated. Can beat SEC. Can't beat. I'm assuming you meant. I don't know, overrated. They may not be better than South Carolina, but I think they are legit top 10 team in the nation.
I think they're right where they need to be. I don't think they can beat South Carolina, but they're going to give a lot of people a lot of problems. Like I said, they're just a year or two away. They're close. They are close to being on that national stage, but there's still a year or two away. There's still that gap.
Right, and Aaron brings up a good point. I forgot about. If you beat Duke, then you play the winner of Texas UCLA. Now, earlier, Aaron, you said you're glad that you don't play Texas twice this year, but you could actually play Texas twice. And UCLA is another one. UCLA got Betts down there, and then now they got her little sister. Like, I don't know. We don't know if her little sister can play like she can play, but we know her little sister got just as much height as she got. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. I actually hope UCLA wins. Not that I just want Texas to lose, but I want to see South Carolina play against other tournament style teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we owe UCLA. Let's be real. Let's be real. That was embarrassing.
I think that this is a game where UCLA size could cause Texas problems. I think this is one of the few teams that can really bully Texas down low with the size of Betts, both of them. And so I'm interested to see how that plays out. Me personally, I want the second game against Texas. I want a free look at them. It's a free game. It don't hurt you in the conference standings. Win or lose, I want the free look. It's a free look.
Well, see, I'm looking. I understand where you're coming from with that, but the reason why I say UCLA and I say other tournament teams because I think UCLA is going to be one of the Elite Eight, Final Four, and this is somebody South Carolina can match up with. And at least if you've played them in the preseason, you can kind of. I mean, every team gets better over the season, but at least you know kind of something where they can go. And I'm with Aaron. I don't know if they're going to be able to just bully Texas because Oldacre is 6'6". And she's got more. She got a little bit more, girth to her than, well, I mean, Betts is big too, but I think it could be a battle. I think it could be a battle.
Yeah, but that's what Betts is. But that's why I said they're one of the few teams that you can actually bang with. Betts is 6'7", little sister 6'5". Like they got the beef down there too.
Right, KB, what you want? You want that second matchup with Texas, or you want a matchup with UCLA?
I gotta go.
Now, this is all pending the win against Duke, by the way.
Right, true, exactly.
But I think how it works is you play the second one, you play one of them either way. So the winners play each other, the losers play each other. So either way, you'll play Texas or UCLA.
Yeah, man. I feel like we don't play Texas 8 times in the last 2 years. Like I don't feel like I need a free look at Rory, the point guard, and Madison Booker. I feel like we know what we about to get from there, but. From a UCLA standpoint, we need that type of test, though. You know what I'm saying? Going before we go into the SEC tournament, like we know we're gonna play Texas. Like we can scout them out in the season. But somebody like UCLA, we need to see if our guard play can handle that guard play as far as shooting the lights out from 3 from a defensive standpoint, and like not have us having to go to a zone and sticking with your man. Like we know what we're gonna get for Texas. We know we can zone up and let old girl just try to shoot shots from the outside from Texas. So yeah, I got to go UCLA. I would want that from experience standpoint.
Right. So now when we get into SEC play stat, we all know the elephant in the room. Michaela Fuwali transfers to LSU. We'll talk about the starting, not starting thing here in a minute. But is that the one game, the big game that you're looking forward to in the conference, or just because she transferred, or are you looking forward to another team in the conference?
No, Texas is the second best team in the conference. So that's the only game I have circled. LSU don't scare me. Oklahoma don't scare me. They're not same level. Texas is the only team in the SEC that is comparable on the national stage to South Carolina. And so because of that, and that's why I want the free look. I want the free look so I can, if we beat them, cool. If we lose, we know what we got to fix before it matters. Because I don't just want to win the conference championship. I'm ready to keep sweeping. I want to see them win the regular season and not split. I want to see them come back up to Greenville and win it again. I like winning championships.
Right. Stevie G, the Oklahoma fan, says bookmark that he's bookmarking it. Stat Oklahoma's no challenge is what Stat said. KB, is it LSU because of Fuwali, or is it another team you're looking forward to the Gamecocks taking on this season in conference play?
No, it's definitely the LSU game, man. I've got LSU kind of finishing second in the conference and Texas being third. But LSU has experience, even with Fuwali coming in. I mean, she's a champion, so we gotta give credit to that. But they've got probably the three best guards.
Combination for sure.
Yeah. Like we've got a team, but three best guards. When you talk about Fuwali, you talk about Flage, you talk about what's the other girl? Michaela Williams.
Michaela Williams. Yeah, there's a lot of Michaelas in college football.
Michaela Williams, and then we talk about the other girl that I know you kind of alluded to. That's kind of going back and forth Fuwali from a starting position standpoint. Like, let's be real. LSU probably they better than last year.
This is what I think. Stats thinking like with Kill Monkey, we've seen regardless of where she is, she only played like 6 people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 7. And South Carolina is always deep, so maybe the deep bench. But I'm just saying like 5 for 5, starting 5 for starting 5. We don't know what they probably won't have nobody for Joyce and Ocott down low. But with Raven's good defensively, and we know that she's not going to hunt her shots. But like if Tessa don't come out hot, like all 3 of their guards can score and will score. Like we do know that. I don't know if I'm not saying they can beat South Carolina. I'm just saying I don't know if I'm ready to dismiss LSU against South Carolina right off the bat.
LSU is going to have the same Achilles heel they've had the last couple years. And well, at least last year, 2 years ago, they had injuries, and it's even going to be a more glaring weakness this year because they lost old girl that was like the guard forward kind of combo, who they don't have anything in the post.
Right, but listen, South Carolina doesn't have Chloe. Like those, like I don't care what talent down there, dog. Chloe was that chick, man.
Right, but that's one. They're not going to be able to stop Ocott and Joyce. They're not going to be able to stop Odaker from Texas.
Okay,
Reagan Beers is going to give LSU trouble.
Right, but with the rebuttal to that, you talked about Odaker giving them problems. Okay, what is Madison Booker going to do against Flage, Michaela, and Fuwali? So they got who has the ball coming up the court? The guards. If you got good guard play, and I'm gonna say this for the world, I don't care what level of basketball you playing. I don't care who you got down low. If you have good guard play, you're in any game. It doesn't matter if you got Ocott, if you got Joyce. It don't matter if you got Betts. If you got good guard play, it's the reason why it's the reason why Vandy can beat some people because they got Michaela Blakes. I'm telling you, just because you got the advantage down low, you got to get the ball down there first. Like she doesn't bring the ball up. That's what I'm saying.
The other thing,
I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. I'm just saying you're being really dismissive as if they can't play. And LSU still was one of the 3 best teams in the SEC last year.
Right. Yeah. The other issue that's going to hurt them, they only have one basketball.
True.
That's the thing I'm most intrigued about with this LSU team. Fuwali didn't go there to not put up, but like she went there to get the leash taken off and jack up threes. So
we're gonna see. Hey, Kim Mulkey is, she quirky, but she can coach. You know what I'm saying? Mr. SEC Brad says, isn't Rory Harmon still playing for Texas? Yeah. She is. Roy. So it's the same big three, pretty much from last year. And that big three, the post is different, but I actually like Oldacre better than the post that they played last year. So KB, give me your top five. I know we're gonna still talk about the schedule, but give me your top five SEC in no particular order. The 5 teams you think got a shot to win the SEC women's basketball.
SEC. Definitely start with our Lady Gamecocks, LSU, right. Texas. I don't want to sleep on Tennessee. I don't want to sleep on Tennessee as I think about. I hesitated a little bit, but I do want to throw them. I do want to throw them in the mix. Right. Tennessee. That fifth one, man, that's tough on the fifth one.
Sooner Love.
Nice.
Reagan Pierce still playing now.
He's still there. You're right.
Chavez.
I think I'm gonna go Vandy, man. I'm gonna go against the grain. I talked about our girl Michaela early on. I'm gonna go Vandy at the fifth, man.
Right. I'm gonna get with you. I'm gonna say, of course, the Gamecocks, you know what I'm saying, for sure. Texas, LSU, I'm gonna say Ole Miss. And then I'm gonna say my dilemma is Tennessee, Oklahoma. I like Reagan Beers is consistent. I think just like we saying these freshmen gonna get off for South Carolina, I think Chavez is gonna get off. So, I mean, she is what she is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it'll be enough, but I think she's gonna get off. But with Tennessee gonna throw about 8, 9 girls at you, regardless of whether they playing or not. And they run in full court, man to man, the whole time. And when it's working, it's working. So I ain't giving the Vols no love just because I'm a Georgia dog, but I'm gonna say the Sooners. Stat: 5 teams in the SEC women's basketball that you think could challenge for the title.
South Carolina, Texas, OU, Ole Miss, Tennessee.
I like it. Aaron says South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss. He's got the same 5 that Stat has. Stevie,
I didn't have LSU.
Oh, you didn't have LSU.
I hate LSU.
Yeah, listen, that's a Fuwali. But listen, we said it was a good split for both parties, both South Carolina and Fuwali. Don't be like that, Stat. Listen, listen, Stat was my assistant. KB, you know this for 4-5 years, and all we had was guards, and now guards can't win games.
Right.
Hey,
guess what? Hey, guess what? We only had one ball.
But you know what? Kim Mulkey ain't me and you.
In the women's basketball game, she
got 3 titles, right?
Right.
Hey, we just because we ain't got no chance. That's because we ain't got no chance. No, I do. I do. I think that there's going to be some real team chemistry issues with that, with what that's going to look like. I just don't trust it. I don't trust a 3-headed beast. It would be different if they had a Raven, and maybe Flau'jae is that, but
Flau'jae's better than Raven, dog. Stop it.
No, but I'm talking about as far as she's better at basketball, but is she a better leader on the court than Raven? And that I don't know.
I think it's neck and neck. I think it's neck and neck.
Yeah. Let's be real. They had 3 kind of big players last year. Like I said, we got Flau'jae, we got Michaela, and we had the girl that the double Morrow. So Morrow, these were 3 girls that were pretty much averaging double figures in points. Morrow double on the boards, and I felt like it was working.
But a lot of Morrow stuff was put back. Like it was offensive rebounds. And that's how she was getting hers.
But we were just talking about leading, and I think Flau'jae is a good leader because I think sometimes she would take a backseat to them to let them get off because she knew she could get hers. I think the leadership is neck to neck. I would take it if you said Raven is a better defender than Flau'jae, but then on the other side, Flau'jae is a better offensive player.
I think Fuwali's game is going to be detrimental to LSU.
And that's yet to be seen. I'm not even arguing that point. Aaron says he doesn't like OU's style of play. I mean, they play a slow down half court style of play because they got Reagan Beers. I mean, and then they got some shooters on the outside. So, I mean, good coaches work with the talent that they have. So, I mean, Aaron, I know this was a couple minutes ago, but tell me exactly what about OU style of play that you don't like. Let me get in Stevie G's. Stevie G says South Carolina, OU, Texas. Whoa, Stevie G showing Texas some love. LSU, and there's KB's Vandy. Yeah. Our guy B. Thompson getting in says South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, and LSU. I like that 5 too. I think a lot of us, I think that fifth spot is the one that's kind of the door swinging open. You know what I'm saying? Where you got the Tennessee, you got Oklahoma, you got in Jeff's LSU, the Ole Miss, the Vandy. I mean, the SEC is deep, and I think Texas is going to try to come up here and say that South Carolina don't have it on lock. But until you beat the man, you can't beat the man. You know what I'm saying? So LSU needs a PG in order for it to work. I think Florida is the PG for it to work. You know what I'm saying? I know that people don't think that, but I think she's been pretty good.
And to my point, though, they say that Fuali's running the point, and so that's where my disconnect is with it. Is we know Fuali's not a point guard.
Facts.
So if she's going to be their point guard, then I think she's going to hunt her shot, and that's where the one ball issue comes in.
It's been a couple months in the offseason, so we'll see what they didn't develop. Aaron says the reason why he doesn't like OU style of play is because they don't slow it down enough for Beers. That's why they lost to UConn. I'm gonna be honest with you, they was gonna lose to UConn anyway, dog. Like UConn, and I mean. Listen, we talking about some contenders for the SEC that might, try to slow South Carolina down. That's the team. If there's one team in the nation that I currently don't think South Carolina can beat, it's UConn.
That's a fact.
I ain't trying to rile nobody up. I'm just saying. Like we're trying to call it like it is. You know what I'm saying? What about you, KB? Is there anybody else in that UConn, South Carolina stratosphere right now, or a team that you say, I don't want them on the wrong night? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to go UConn though, man. I think they're a step above like the rest, honestly. Just based on the experience they got coming back. Even losing Paige, like I said, you still picking up a transfer. You got experience coming back with Sarah Strong down there.
Hey, my candidate for player of the year.
Yeah, so just don't like that. But yeah, man, and then another great coach just kind of leading them, man. I think we're seeing a UConn back type situation, man. Like we talked about even the other day, we talked about back in the 90s and stuff like that. I mean, this could easily be a back-to-back national title for UConn.
Right. So Chicago Cheetah getting there. We appreciate you getting there. Chicago Cheetah says Jada Richards is actually the point guard for LSU, so that could make this little symbiotic relationship work. Listen, don't be shocked if you see them run some Tennessee style, play in LSU with the 4 guards on the floor. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to be a thing that they do all the time, but Kim Moke is just crazy enough to try it. So Chicago Cheetahs 5 or LSU, Texas, South Carolina, OU, in Tennessee. Okay. I see it. I can see it. So Aaron said, I actually think the Vols beat UConn this year. I'm calling that game by 20.
Hey,
this is the first. Listen, I'm not calling AZ for Paige by no means because I feel like Paige is the best basketball player we've seen in college since probably Asia at South Carolina, and maybe the college careers is crazy. And we saw Paige get hurt early and continue to get better as her injury healed. This year, AZ says she feels 100% the best she has in college. And we saw what she did last year. And then Sarah Strong is only getting better. And then they still bring back a whole bunch. And then they got the girl from Wisconsin, Sarah Williams. Yeah. Listen, it could happen, Aaron. I'm just saying right now, I think I'm calling the 20 piece. That's just I think UConn gonna do some damage this year. I ain't saying they doing Breonna Stewart numbers. KB looked at, so that was just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? They do. South Carolina SC Bread say they play in the Wheat Big East. Yes, they do. But we talking about the players, though. Like, I mean, again, those three match up with any three on any team. So that's what I'm saying.
The other thing about that Tennessee game is the Vols do travel to Connecticut this year.
It's gonna be. Listen, it's going to.
Now, as far as for me, it's while there could be a dark horse that could win it, the betting odds are South Carolina, UConn to meet up for another natty. I think they're the two best teams in college basketball, and I think there is a clear gap between them and number 3.
I think if we could throw somebody else in there, it'd be UCLA.
Right, yeah. I told you at the beginning of the year last year, the only team I did not want to see in the tourney was UConn because I felt that Paige wasn't leaving UConn without a natty. And she was on something serious.
The question for UConn is, do they, even the games where Paige, like even when they beat South Carolina, Paige only had like 21 and AZ went off, but Paige was the glue to the team. We all know that she was what made them go. Anytime it was, we need a bucket right now. She can make the right play regardless whether that was score or pass. KB, I'm looking to see if they have that glue piece. Again, we know AZ Fudd can go for about 30, but do they have that other guard glue? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's definitely to be determined. But to your point, even in that championship game, Paige didn't need to get off. You know what I'm saying? That was a crazy thing about it. Even, being at the game, like I seen how easy she was able to get to her spots, but she was getting everybody else open. And and Fudd was just going off, and then role players going off. Sarah obviously doing her thing. And like I said, coming into this particular year, I think somebody could easily feel like maybe Paige is not Paige, Fudd is the Paige, right? The main person, but then you got somebody else that's about to step up that takes the attention and just knock down open shots at the end of the day, because that's really all you need.
Really? Right.
Now, I was going to say real quick, one thing I do know about this year is they're not getting 20-piece in the natty again.
No.
It'll be a competitive game, even if UConn still may get them, but they ain't getting dog walked on live television in front of the world.
Right. Aaron says Sarah Williams, the transfer from Wisconsin to UConn, doesn't move him.
Hey, she moved me enough to want her at South Carolina before we got UConn.
Right. Chicago Cheetah said, I think there are 5 teams that can win a championship: UConn, LSU, South Carolina, Texas, and UCLA. I'm with all of that, Chicago Cheetah. I'm with all that. I think UConn, to me, is the betting favorite. I'm not saying that that it won't be South Carolina. I think South Carolina is right there with them. But I'm like, I feel like LSU, again, we saw what Fuwale was in Columbia. The marriage wasn't as good as the fans wanted it to be, but we still saw the talent. We know Flage is super talented. She can go for 20 a game. You got the other girl, Jada Richards, that shout out to, I want to say it was Chicago Cheetah that might have told us that, but I think that's the one that's kind of the reason why I think Fuwale's in the starting lineup, not in the starting lineup. But the fact that you got somebody as talented as Fuwale that might not start, I think that says a lot about what they do have. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Texas and UCLA, Madison Booker, hunting her shot or not, she going to keep Texas in game and beat teams. And then you got, again, I'm interested to see what Oldacre is along with Booker. And then UCLA is just UCLA. I mean, we saw what they did last year. So I think that's a good 5 right there. So Brian says Texas will be at UConn. Ooh. I didn't know that they play UConn. I don't know about that, Texas. Let me see. Let me go to their schedule right quick. What day is that on? Let me make sure I don't miss that. Right. Let's see. They got to go to North Carolina. Texas got to go to North Carolina. I think you might have meant to say Tennessee, Brian. I don't see UConn on Texas's schedule.
Yeah, it's Tennessee.
Okay, maybe it was Tennessee. Got you. Stevie G says, I have those 5 plus OU, my own school bias. Right. I mean, I think they can make some noise. I'm interested to see what Chavez is in college. I think she will score. She's super talented. You still, like you said, you got the shooter on the outside. You got Reagan Beers. We're going to see. My question is, who do you have backing up Reagan Beers? Because she doesn't get in foul trouble a lot, at least the games that I watch. But when she does, who's gonna like? I think there's a huge drop off from her production to the girl that backs her up. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with having, one big that you got. You got one big. When that big goes down, it's like, who you bringing in? Whereas with guards, each of these teams we're talking about pretty much can bring guards in. Maybe not at the same level, but kind of on par. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, man. We say we got a new backup 5. Yep, I think transfer portal is hit everybody and recruiting classes. So with that said, man, listen, man, we don't ran up on it. Listen, KB, what's your final words or your thoughts on the Lady Gamecocks going into the 2025-2026 season?
Man, I think we see a new style of play than what we've seen in the past, and we've kind of seen the transition over the last year or two where we didn't have a dominant big, and hopefully we do have that dominant big this year. But with the rotation, with the freshmen we have, I hopefully we see a lot of get up and down the court. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of up and down action. Maybe we in the high 70s, low 80s as far as maybe average points a game or something like that. But I do think we see a new style of play going forward as this guard play transitions around with these freshmen.
I definitely agree with that, and I think especially with the injury to Chloe Kitts, I think that will come in more into play. I think South Carolina has the guards to go small, and when I say small, 2 of these freshmen are guards or wing players, we would say, but they like over 6 foot, so they're tall, but they're still in the guard/wing mindset. And then we don't know what Tack is. We hope Miriam is still getting better, you know what I'm saying? And we hope Alcott does what she does at Mississippi State. But I'm with you, KB. I think we could see some more up tempo, at least in spots in games this year. So I think South Carolina is the clear favorite. I don't know if unless you're just a fan of a team, I don't know if you'll disagree with that in the SEC. I think again Texas is going to be Texas and going to challenge. I'm interested to see what those other teams though can do in the season. We're gonna let Stat Guy close us out with his thoughts.
So final thoughts heading into the year. South Carolina once again lead the nation in attendance, rocking out CLA for what this will now make it 13 years in a row after they finish leading the nation in attendance this year. And hey, we need one for the thumb, going for more SEC bling for regular season. I think it's a clean sweep regular season and SEC tournament up here in Greenville. And then, hey, get ready for the matchup with UConn and the Natty. That's where I think it's all leading to.
There it is. All right, man. Listen, again, appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Just to let you know, we'll be doing some live streams, whether we're previewing or reacting to a game. We'll be doing some live watch parties as well. And then we'll also, for those that's already been following us for the last 2 to 3 years, that we'll still be doing our previews, at least one preview weekly, recorded videos, so that you guys can get in the comments. Listen, we appreciate everybody jumping in these comments tonight too, man. Aaron, Stevie G, Mr. SEC Bread, Brian Thompson, Chicago Cheetah. This is what we like to do. We like to hear from the fans, whether it be South Carolina fans or the team that South Carolina may be playing. We try to rock with it. And then for those that are in the area, we always go to the SEC women's tournament. So y'all make sure Chuckin Buckets will be in the building. But yeah, man, let's be on the lookout for what we got coming down. Season starts officially Monday, November 3rd with Grand Canyon. So if Coach I doesn't find the disclaimer is all these thoughts for everyone is barring injuries and bad health. That's right. I mean, well, Stevie G said that's the difference. You've been rocking with us for a couple of years, so you know that we always say health plays a part in winning natties. It's the reason why I think AZ Fudd is going to be on one this year, because he's finally healthy, man. But again, this is the Chuckin Bucket boys are back. Feel good to be back talking basketball, fellas. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all turn on those bell notifications, subscribe, bring more Gamecock fans, bring more women's basketball fans, so we can make this a fun ride this year. This will be our first full season. We normally start at the SEC season, but now we're jumping in preseason and sticking with you the whole year. For my guys, KB, Stat Guy, I'm Coach Ice, Chuckin Buckets, man. We back and we out.
Peace.